So today we're going to be talking about the number one insider, Pablo Torre. So he's somebody that has he's posted something now about the WNBA CBA, and if you guys don't know the whole Pablo Torre thing, where it's like when he's talking, you tend to listen because he predicted everything. The man was the guy who broke the Clippers story. When he talks, you kind of listen. So let's take a listen to what it says here, or what he says.
Is embroiled in this really public knockdown, drag out war of words over how they're supposed to pay their players. Your perspectives, though, as people who were truly at the bargaining table from the other side, from the management side, how would you steer them? How would you advise them if the goal was a resolution?
I still stand by, I don't know if the goal for some of these players is a resolution. Like, that is, maybe I'm pessimistic, but like, I don't know if the goal for some of these people is a resolution.
Well, I don't know if that's the goal, but the goal is sustainability.
So we said, I don't know if that's the goal. Like, exactly, they're not entirely sure if a resolution is even the goal.
From an ownership side, from a management side, it's really nice for employees to want to get paid a whole lot of money and a high percentage of revenue. But my interest in management is to make sure we've got a healthy business that can be sustained over a long period of time and that can be profitable. And I'm not going to sign up a deal. What kind of idiot would sign a deal that guarantees lack of profitability? You literally have to be out of your mind. And what the women want in the WNBA is for the WNBA to do a deal that would guarantee no profitability. They're not going to do it. And I would call the bluff of all of these negotiators, all of the women who were talking.
And I've made that argument as well, where it's like, it's funny. Some people think from some of the videos that I made, they're like, oh, that I'm really like pro team and like anti player. I'm like, it's actually not the case. I'm pro. Like, I mean this when I say this. I would love for the players to get paid as much as possible, but I also want there to be a season next year. I'm pro there being a 2026 WNBA season. Because at the end of the day, sport is entertainment for me, and I want there to be a WNBA season. By the way, I would be, if it turned out that the profitability, or not profitability, that if Unrivaled was 5v5, I think my opinion of this changes. Genuinely. I think my opinion of this entire topic changes a lot if Unrivaled was 5v5. Because if Unrivaled's 5v5, then I don't really care about the WNBA happening, because I think if Unrivaled's 5v5, all the players played in Unrivaled. But it's not 5v5. So yeah, I'm on the side of I don't want this league to happen. And unfortunately, it seems like the players are going to be the ones that are stopping this league from happening. And I think I've seen it, like Annie Costable tweet. I haven't looked into it too much, and I'll talk after I do. It seems like the league is basically saying the players need to actually negotiate, and the players are basically just putting stuff out in the public to try to get people on their side, and the players basically aren't even trying to negotiate.
Talking about we want the same percentage of revenue as the NBA players get. They have zero chance, Pablo. And John, you know this and you won't respond. There is zero chance that the women in the WNBA are going to get the same percentage of revenue, quote unquote, that the NBA players get.
I have previously suggested and still agree, and it doesn't violate anything I should recuse myself on, that while they're not going to get that percentage immediately, that if I were sitting at the bargaining table, I would suggest that we're going to move over time to a model in which you do get paid a percentage of the revenues.
They do get paid a percentage now. It's just 9%.
But that's just a derived number. It's not nobody is required to pay 9% of their revenues. It's a derived number.
And so is their media revenue.
Well, I understand that. I'm just suggesting that the players, if you want to get to a deal, and I would disagree with you, I think they do want to get to a deal. Of course, they would like that deal to allow their owners to be as profitable as they can be.
No, it isn't. I can guarantee you that. I can guarantee you they do not want their owners making a profit. I can guarantee you.
Some of them will be profitable sooner rather than later. And I have suggested that the owners would be wise to understand that they're going to make the vast majority of money they make on flipping the team and not on annual. You're shaking your
Spoken
head
like a non-owner.
But
That's
wait,
the argument everyone makes. You'll make the money back when you sell the team. Where do you come up with the money to pay for the annual loss?
And that's the thing where it's like, if you guys don't know, that's the biggest argument that people are giving and the league are giving for why the owners should eat the losses, is that the value of the teams go up. But like, the reason why the value of the teams are going up is because people are anticipating a boom. People are anticipating the league to eventually be profitable. And if it turns out the owners get fucked over in the CBA, especially with the amount, like, the value of franchises kind of tanks. Like, it does go down when there's a guarantee of no profitability. That it's just, can it be a plaything for a billionaire? Can it be a big thing for a billionaire to use as a plaything? That's kind of the only reason people buy teams anymore. How we refer to labor negotiations, not use a term like civil war. Like, let's be real. That's basically what it is, right? Let's be real. It gets very different from labor negotiations when one side is posting Instagram stories, tagging somebody who's not involved in it, who's not directly involved in negotiations, with all of that stuff. Someone please explain to me why so many people are on the side of the owners. I'm on the side of the league. I kind of want the league should happen. You're looking for management ownership lines, but profitability isn't synonymous with revenue share. It's not, but if you give up a bad revenue share, guarantees no profitability. Like, it's not a profit share. It's not a profit share. It's a revenue share, and unfortunately, if there's a revenue share, if a player gets a certain amount of revenue and the owners only get a certain amount of the revenue, only own a certain amount of the league, they're just eating losses. Like, if the players aren't eating the losses, the players aren't going to eat the losses. They're going to be, essentially, if they get what they want, it's going to cause the losses. And that's one of those things where it's like, it's one of those things where I just think I'm not even going to say somebody has to compromise, because I'm very confident the league has to compromise, or the league has tried to compromise. But I do think that it is a case where the league is just not in a position to. I think the players are in a position where they're going to be. They will happily walk away from the league, and I think that's where this is. That's where this is something where we haven't really seen. We haven't really seen any sort of negotiations, because we saw it in the NBA, like, people weren't happy going to Europe. I remember Iverson, he went to Turkey, and players went everywhere, and players are playing in Rucker Park. Like, they weren't happy to do that. But I'm fully convinced that the WNBA players, I think a lot of them will be happy to just say nah. Not happy, but I think that they're on the front of, if we don't get exactly what we want, we're fine with not playing next year. So look, I don't know what the players want. At the end of the day, I just want to watch Caitlin Clark play basketball. And if that's in the WNBA, if that's in Unrivaled, if that's in Project B, I don't really care. I just want to watch Caitlin Clark play basketball. But what people don't realize is that I think the WNBA players are holding out, because if there's no season this year, there's not going to be a season next year, and there's not going to be a season the year after. And that's one things that people don't realize, is that, like, if there's no 2026 WNBA season, the CBA doesn't miraculously get done. There's not going to be a 20. Like, if the owners aren't willing to give up a percentage, it's not for a bit of money. It's for a percentage, which puts all the risks on the owners and puts none of the and gives the players what they want. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, I genuinely am not sure if the players could be offered 10x more. They could offer a 10x to their salary cap. every team gets 15 million. And I think most of the owners would foot that. If the salary cap got 10x'd, I still think the players would refuse the salary cap being 10x'd. I'm not entirely certain of that. But yeah, that is pretty much it, lads. This is obviously Paolo Torre talking about it. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.